everybody, how are you feeling today? It's Eros everyone here, and today I'm coming at you with a Blue Eyes Chaos Max build for you guys. So this is the ritual build, which in my opinion is a little bit less consistent than of course, the version without it, but it's still relatively super fun. And I really like this build a lot, even though I do think, again, it's less consistent, but pulling it off is always really fun because this card is super powerful. Like Chaos Max is super powerful. But without further ado, let's get started with this deck profile. And I'm not only going to explain cards that I think need explanation or cards that you haven't seen on my channel before, like Chaos Max himself. Other than that, I'm going to speed through the cards relatively quickly. So, 2 copies of Blue Eyes Chaos Max. This is pretty much your boss monster of the deck because you're on the ritual build, and you have a 4000 attack with ability to do piercing damage, and he cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent card effect. Now this card is nuts, but the problem with this card is that it can clog in your hand because the ritual monster, and because of that you only run 2. Next up, 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't think you need any explanation because it's a Blue Eyes deck. 3 copies of Alternative because a Blue Eyes deck. 1 copy is Dragon Spirit of White because we don't have the space more for another Dragon Spirit of White, and it just needed in one in here, and in my opinion it's more than enough because sometimes you do need to get rid of back row and stuff and you need another name. And that does it for the big dragons. 9 big dragons. Now move on to the little guys. So first off, 3 copies of Manju because it's searching you the ritual spells and the ritual monster. 3 copies of Sage because it's searching you the level 1 light tuners, which you run 3 copies of Ancients, and then 1 copy of Legends and 1 copy of Effect Veiler to be your searchable targets with Sage, because Ancients and Legends are really good for, like, you know, card of Consonants and all that stuff, and Effect Veiler is just a hand trap. But mostly, you do gonna focus a lot more around Manju, in my opinion. Like, you're going to, of course, if you're going to Ritual Summon, you more to focus around Manju, but if you're not going to Ritual Summon, I would recommend to focus morely about Sage. It's depending on the situation and where you find yourself in, because sometimes you do not want to do Ritual Summon, but of course, like I said, it's depending on where you are in the game. That's it for the monsters. Now move on to the spells. So first off, you run 2 copies of Chaos Form and 2 copies of Advanced Ritual Art, which unfortunately I still proxy. But you want to run 2 of each of the ritual spells because Advanced Ritual Art is really good, relatively going first, because of the ability to just send a Blue Eyes directly from your deck from grave. And Chaos Form is also really awesome because it's able to banish you a Blue Eyes monster from grave to the ritual summon, and that's really cool. It's mostly good going late, but when we get the new support of the Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon and all that stuff, it's going to become a lot more better in my opinion. And that's it for the ritual spells. Next, we'll move on to the rest of the spells that you already know and love to run in Blue Eyes. 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon. It's even more important now because you have Chaos Max's additional 2 targets, so 3 of that is really important. 3 copies of Trading because you have 9 level 8s. 2 copies of Card of Consonants because it's still really important in my opinion. And then 1 copy of Dragon Shrine to Foolish Barrel your dragons if you need to. And that's it for that, and I'll move on to the revival spells. 3 copies of Return to Dragon Lords because to protect your monsters, and it's really awesome. 2 copies of Silvercry, 1 copy of Monster Reborn, and 1 copy of Soul Charge to round off the revival spells. I don't believe you want to run Revival Dragon Rhapsody or Pot of Desires because I don't really need Pot of Desires. I have my own revival spell, draw spells. Because Pot of Desires, in my opinion, is like way too much overkill on this deck, and you're going to banish way too much of your cards. And Soul Charge is a lot more better than Revival Dragon Rhapsody, if we're already talking about that. Because Revival Dragon Rhapsody requires you to have a Spellcaster monster and make your opponent cannot take any damage. And Soul Charge is just a good card going first. If you do not want to run this card and you feel like it's limited you with Chaos Max, you can run anything else that you wish. But I think Soul Charge is just an amazing card, and sometimes you want to limit yourself from going to the battle phase because you can get a really strong board. And that does it for the main deck. Now we'll move on to the extra deck. First of all, we're running 1 copy of Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. Obviously, you even have more names right now, which is even more crazy. 2 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon and 2 copies of Azurai Silver Dragon. Again, really important 2 monsters. You can make them with a greater of ease, like this one with a greater of ease even more because of Chaos Max. 1 copy of Cloud Castle because Cloud Castle is like I said, again, you can make this card really, really nice with Chaos Max or any level 8 and Sage, and then bring this, revive this, and then go to the King of all Calamities, which is something that I like to run a lot in the deck because it's just a skill drain. One copy of Crystal Wing and one copy of Black Rose Moonlight Dragon for the ability to go into Crystal Wing if you need to. Less going to happen right now because Ancient Fairy Dragon is a little bit, let's just say, got killed on the ban list. And because of that, Crystal Wing is a little bit less viable, but you still be able to make this card, so it's really, really nice. For the rank 8, one copy of Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter, one copy of Full Armor, one copy of Cypher Blade, supposed to be a Hope Harbinger, but unfortunately I don't have Hope Harbinger yet, one Galaxy Cypher, 123 a Lancelot, and then one copy of Sylvan Princess Sprite. And I don't run any Link Monsters because I don't find any usage for Link Monsters in this deck, unfortunately, yet, because we don't have Nil Fibers and stuff like that. And yeah, that pretty much does it for the deck profile. So, an extra deck and everything. It was, like I said, really, really fast because I said to you that, like, most of those cards you already know what it does from my previous deck profiles as well. Like, you probably saw this deck profile a million of times. So I felt to myself like I want to spare to you guys like going over the cards a million times over and over. So that pretty much does it for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring out the bell icon if you want to keep yourself noticed when I actually upload a video. And remember, creativity is the key in this game. Have a good day, guys, and stay safe.